series, so welcome back to my channel. Today I thought I'd let you know and let myself know what books I'm planning on rereading. I have kind of gotten out of the habit, like I used to do this much more frequently, like reread my books, mainly because I didn't have money to get new ones, so I had to like make do with what I had. But since my TBR is like now at actually like enormous proportions, I tend to want to read like new books rather than old books. Again, obviously I think it makes sense, but there's a few that I want to reread for various reasons, and I want to share them with you so I can document it in a video for myself and hopefully actually get to these. I know last time I did this video, I don't think I ended up rereading like more than one of the ones I talked about, so what am I doing? But this time I want to actually kind of buckle down and do it. What is happening? Maybe that second cup of coffee kind of was a mistake. So I have two books that I want to reread because of a sequel, because I want to read the sequel and I want to like refresh my memory and like be able to, you know, tie it all together, kind of get myself hyped for the sequel, I guess. So the first is Strangest Dream by Laini Taylor. Muse of Nightmares, the sequel, comes out I think in October, and I have forgotten a lot of what happened. I know enough. I definitely remember the ending, at least vaguely. This is, again, I said it before, I read this book in a day, or like a night, I think a day and a night, in one sitting basically, and when I do that I tend to not retain much of the story, obviously, but I love this book. This was one of my favorite books of last year. I hope I enjoyed as much the second time, and I really want to reread it in preparation for the sequel. The next book that kind of is supposed to fulfill the same purpose is Arabica of Mars by David Delevine. The sequel is already out and I actually already own it, but I've been like putting off reading it because I wanted to first read this one, and I think the main reason is because of the romance. I really enjoyed the romance in this. It has a trope of a girl pretending to be a guy and like making friends with a guy, and then eventually like he finds out she's a girl and they're like falling. I don't know, I love that trope for whatever reason. And it happens in this book. It's also one of the best YA books I've ever read because it doesn't do a lot of the awkward things that YA books do. The main character is very self-sufficient, very like actually kick-ass and like strong. The world is also very interesting, and it's very much drawn upon like colonialist times and like kind of critical of that, and it's just so well done and I adored it. So I want to reread this. Actually, now I'm talking about it, I actually want to pick it up like immediately. Then I have another 3 YA books that I have not read in actual years. Now I remember liking them, but I have no idea what I would think about them now, since my reading tastes have changed so much, and that's kind of why I want to try to give them a second chance. I'm worried, not a second chance necessarily, but like I'm worried about rereading them because what if I ruin my positive memories of them? But then again, I can't like talk about these now. Like I couldn't recommend them or not recommend them because I don't know what I think of them now. And I'm now a much more critical reader, I'm much more of a jaded reader, I think, so I just want to have a new perspective on these, if they hold up as YA novels now, basically. The first one is actually like marginally popular, I think like some people have read this at least, and this is Serafina by Rachel Hawkins. Not Hawkins. Well, who's Rachel Hawkins? Hawkins. Oh, Rebel Bell. She wrote Rebel Bell. Never mind. Rachel Hartman. I'm sorry. This is a novel about a girl called Serafina, and she's like a dragon. And there's dragons in this world. There's like a peace between humans and dragons, but apparently it's very fragile. And then a prince gets murdered, and it like destroys the peace, and it's a murder investigation, and I don't know, but I'm hoping it holds up. I honestly do. I don't have many dragon-related books that I enjoy. Do I have any? I do wanna like see if this holds up, because I think there's a sequel that came out years after the first, if I remember correctly, because when this came out I was dying for the sequel and it never happened, and then it happened, but I was like not into this world anymore, so I want to see what happens, I guess, and if I still enjoy it. The next two definitely very obscure. I only bought them because there was one YouTuber, Whitney Milam, I think, that talked about them and said she really enjoyed them. She's not really a booktuber, but she used to do like book videos a little bit, and I kind of just like bought everything she recommended, and these two I really loved. At the time of reading them, they were exactly my thing, but again, I don't know what I would think about them now. And the first is The Decoy Princess by Dawn Cook. It's about a princess that finds out she's not actually a princess, but she's a decoy princess. So she was raised as a princess, but just to protect the real princess that has like gone into hiding, and she's not actually like royalty at all. She's just some orphan that they found, and I don't know what happens then, but there's a romance in it. There's a sequel to it. It's like a duology, and I know that I loved this so much when I read it the first time, and that makes me all the more nervous to pick it up again. And then the second one is actually a standalone, and it's Mara, Dota of Denial by Eloise Jarvis McGraw. This is set in Egypt, as you might guess, and it follows a slave girl called Mara, and she's given the opportunity to like work as a spy for like both sides. So she's like a, what's that called? A double spy, double agent kind of thing. But then she falls in love with one of her masters, and then her duplicity is discovered, and whatever stuff happens. I loved this when I read it again for the first time, and I wanna so badly love it again the second time, so I definitely want to give it a go. I think both of these books, actually all three of these books, are kind of really good summer reads because they're probably very light, very romance heavy, I'm assuming, and still set in fantasy worlds, and still, not this one I guess, this is just historical fiction. But to me, I think that these would just be perfect summer reads or like beach reads, so I'm definitely gonna try to get to these in the summer holidays. Second to last is another dragon book, which is why I thought it's so funny. Like earlier, I didn't even realize like 2 dragon books were in this. But it's Eragon by Christopher Paolini. This is the German edition, and I only have the German editions, which is a little bit of an issue because I'm definitely not gonna reread them in German. But I remember loving these books so much. Funnily enough, the dragon in this is also called Serafina. I feel like Serafina is like a dragon name, right? I love the series. I've read like 3 books. I haven't even finished it, but I want to try reading it again. I think I've reread this book also several times. It certainly looks like I've read it a lot, and I loved it. I hope to love it again. When I reread it, I still need to find like an English edition, whether on ebook or like maybe I will actually buy it. I don't know, like a physical copy. But I definitely want to try it again. And then the final book I want to reread is one of the most recent one, I should say. And that is The 7 Deaths of Evelyn Hardcastle by Stuart Turton. I read this book like 2 months ago, but it is phenomenal. It is a mystery that's very convoluted, very complex, and the first time reading it, I think you kind of just like have to focus very hard on like trying to keep track of everything and keep everything in your mind like sort of connected. And then obviously there's like this huge twist at the end, and I just want to reread it so that with the ending in mind to just have a more like a different experience, hopefully, because then I can like pick out the clues and just like put everything into a different context, and I just like want to like, re-experience this book. And I think this is definitely one of those that you can reread like 10 times and still you would get something new out of it every single time. So I don't know when I'll get to it, hopefully still at some point this year, because it's amazing. And yeah, I've told you enough about it I think already, so if you want to know more about it, I will link my review in the cards. But it's magnificent, and I just want to experience it again, basically. And yeah, those are all the books I plan, or like tentatively plan to reread in the near future. Let me know in the comments what you think about rereading, if you have time for it, if you enjoy doing it, or like under what circumstances you would reread a book. Thank you so much for watching. Please like this video and subscribe to my channel for new videos every Tuesday and Friday, and I will see you then. Have a lovely week. Bye!